So here I am attaching the shank, the button, the Husqvarna shank with the button sew on foot. Got the feed dogs. Turn on the light. Wonder if maybe I'll take out the light bulb. That way it won't blow out the image so much. Okay, so what we're going to do is test the buttonhole with 4 different button sizes to see how it coats. So here are very tiny buttons. These are 3/8 of an inch. These ones are 4/8 of an inch. These ones are 5/8 of an inch. Oops. So 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, 5/8 of an inch, and last but not least, looks like 7/8. Yeah, 7/8 of an inch for that size. So those are the ones we're going to do. That's the sizes I have convenient and enough of to do a full test. So we'll start with the button sew on foot from Husqvarna Viking. So when the foot is up, you can see, you just mark where you want your buttonholes, but you'll see you've got this springy thing, which is what you insert the button into, and it holds it in place when you drop the feed dogs. Now the reason I point that out is because, I'm not sure, you see how it gets really close when you drop it? That's what holds the button in there. So with my handy dandy little contraption here, I'll put it in the forward holes, and this is really important, and then just push it like that, and those holes are very tight, I have to admit, on this plastic thing. There we go, got it out. And let's see what happens. Oops, better put this on in zigzag. Yeah, lined up the back holes perfectly. So I can just normally you'd want to do the forward holes first, but this being so small, I think actually it makes sense to do it in reverse. So once you do the, let's see if I can zoom in a little better. Oops, it's the wrong way. Yeah. Alright, so I've done the it's a little better. I've done the back holes. This is at a very awkward angle, but that's okay. You can see those are the back holes. So to do the front holes, you either have to spin it round when you're doing buttons that are this tiny, or drop the button, or in this case it actually would work fine to do it the reverse of, no, it doesn't work to do the reverse of normal. So in this case, I should have done it better the other way. But you can easily spin this around if you make a mistake like that. And then magic. So one thing is nice, it just very easily holds it in there. So give it points for that. That's fairly easy, and then we'll just pull it out. So the next buttonhole we want to do is that was the 3/8, so now we'll do the 1/2 inch, or 4/8, yeah. Okay, let's see if we can do this right this time. So I have the button, I put the little contraption in, and then what I want to do is to sew. And theoretically that's supposed to be it, and that should do the holes. And it did, it worked perfectly, and it did the forward set of holes, which is what I should have done in the first place with the other one. Okay, up it goes, and just pull it forward a bit. So this is where I found it's easier if you put the tool back in and then it lines up the holes. Just to make sure you line up the okay. Free that. Buttonholes are good. You can see it sews fine. And in case you're interested, I've set the machine for a stitch width of 3. And that fits pretty much most buttonholes. Or the button, the holes in the button. Okay, off we go. Now we're going to do the 3/4 buttons. These are just 2-hole jobs, and same width. Okay. Lift that out, push that there, and push it back, and put that down. And magic. Okay, so that was super easy. Okay, pull that out forward, cut the threads. Okay. And last but not least, the 7/8 button. Here's this, line it up, put it there. This is quite a big button. Again, same deal, put that in the forward holes. I can just, squeeze that, and then that will allow it to go, and then okay. It does work. Okay, there we go. So there are the full 4 buttonholes. You can see the size increase. Good. So what I was trying to do before is to see how much extra space. There's quite a bit of, I can take pretty jumbo buttons. So it's not even halfway. When you start at the front, you still have probably another 3/8 or something. So that's 7/8, 10/8, 1 1/4 inch buttons. That's pretty big. Okay. So what we will do now is we will change over to a more common type of buttonhole foot, and let's see how that looks. Okay, so that comes off super easy. And then we have this type of buttonhole foot. It can be with or without rubber. It's always the way when you got the camera running, these things don't go in smoothly. There we are. Okay, that's tight. On we go. So, starting from the 3/8 again. This time, I'm assuming one that, even though I have the little clipper things, this is assuming I don't have them. So I've got to somehow use something to get that under the foot in the right place of the needle. What I've historically done is just lowered the needle until it's sort of holding the button right, and then do that again. Oops. To just straighten up the button, twisting it by hand, and it's good. Okay. Then we move forward, and that lines up, so we can just go with that one. That's nice and easy. Alright, a little snip. Okay. Now we will go to the half. Okay, same deal, you've got to line up the hole so that you can get the button in the right place. And then once you put that down, okay, and then you want to just same old deal. Need to trim the threads. Okay, no problems there. Little snip. Okay, on to the next. Okay, same deal. Okay, and last but not least, the 7/8. this one is a little more challenging. A little more challenging to hold because of the shape. And then we'll do the forward one. Perfect. So that's that. So now we will put on the third type. So here's the third type, which is, it's got a flexible end that moves, so I just want to see if that behaves differently. And here we go. So we're a little short on room here, but we will persevere. Here's the 3/8. So this one is so wide it barely even fits. The button is wider, is smaller than the gap on the buttons. So that's kind of awkward. Although by some miracle it just sort of held it in place. Yeah, so those back holes are a bit of a problem because it's so small it doesn't even, it literally doesn't even support it now. Yeah, so that's a problem. Oh, got it. There's no guarantee that, it's not impossible, but it's not that easy because the button is completely unsupported, so you really need your stiletto or something in there to hold it. As you can see, the foot's down, but literally the button is the same size as the space. So, not so good. It worked, but I wouldn't want to have to do lots of those to make sure they're exactly in the right place. So next size up, half. Okay, that's quite similar actually. It's still not the best fit. And so to get at the front. Better to do the front first so it's secured, otherwise you're going to really struggle holding it down. having a bit of trouble with the tension at the moment, just to make it interesting. Bit of tension. Rethread the top because that seems to be the problem. Doesn't help that in the video this is very bright, but I literally am working kind of near in the dark here. I'd have to get the needle threader out because I can't see the hole. Out some light. Okay. Oh, that worked nice and easily, didn't it? Good needle threader. Okay, on we go. Let's try this one again. Hope the 10. Perfect, that's sound right. Okay, so, oop, wrong way. Okay, and last but not least, the 7/8 button. Oops, that slipped out. Ooh, yes, this is a problem. So it slips out with the big button. See, it just pops out like that. So that's, I do remember this problem on these flexible type button holders. You have to hold that in place so it doesn't slip, which it's absolutely determined to do. So I literally am holding that down with my thumb, which is possible, certainly, but not great. And then to do the next hole, let's see how difficult this is. Okay, so now we're on the front holes. So it's still not wildly secure. I don't think that's a great thing there. Possible, obviously, but not great, not convenient. Okay, got it. see, oops, it slipped again. So this is where it gets extremely difficult to try and hold these ones with. So, oops, just all over the place. Ooh. Okay, I've got it to sit secure this time, but that's difficult. So that's definitely the worst. Possible, but not great. So, the fancy, very, very expensive Husqvarna Viking Foot does win hands down. This is a very close second, so it works fine, but the flexible one here is just awkward. It slips, it skids, so that's not so good.